Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Anyway, so this one we can go through quick. Ex-Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis barred from practicing law for several years over Georgia election lies.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so this is mainly what I want to get into here is there's two things. Is that first, Trump has a whole lot of lawyers that used to be his lawyer that now aren't allowed to practice law. And they're not
Weird
like
how that
little
keeps
names. They're big names, like Rudy Giuliani, who was someone that I heard of before I knew who Donald Trump was. Like, he could have retired and been America's mayor in the history books. But no, now he's that weird guy who destroyed his career for Donald Trump.
There's a lot of weird guys who destroyed their career for Donald Trump.
Ex-Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis barred from practicing law for several years over Georgia election lies. So Trump burns through so many lawyers that when I heard Jenna Ellis, I was like, which one is she? Is she the Kraken? No, she wasn't the Kraken. That was Sidney Powell. Is she the one that was most recent with? No, that was Alina Habba. And it was like, he just burns through lawyers. So it's like, oh yeah, Jenna Ellis is that one that I don't even remember what she was notable for, but I know the name. But yeah, so former Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis has had her law license suspended for 3 years in her home state of Colorado for the lies she spread as part of it, an effort to overturn the 2020 election results in Georgia. This is not like career ending for her because she practices mostly in Florida, but like she does do the occasional thing in Colorado, so it does kind of suck for her.
I just want to know, after so many lawyers have already had this particular
She's the blonde one, that'll narrow it down.
Oh my God. After so many lawyers have already gone through this particular song and dance for Daddy Trump, I just have to wonder, why would any of them take anything for him ever again?
Yeah, especially considering he doesn't even pay them. Like, he's got a reputation for just not paying his lawyers. So, like what lawyer is going to take him on now?
Like, it can't be for the money, obviously, because half of them aren't getting any.
I mean, his fucking criminal lawyer in his criminal trial in New York right now used the excuse with his judge, it's my first day. So he's running so low on lawyers now that he's relying on people that have never been to trial before, never cross-examined a witness.
People that just managed the bar exam, that's it. Like, yeah. That's where they're at.
Yeah, so like people just don't want his case anymore. Like I know he's going to appeal this, and ineffective assistance of counsel is one of the things he's going to appeal it under, and I could actually kind of see that. And it would tickle me to see Trump not able to find a good lawyer and like have to rely on a public defender or something at some point.
Katini says you haven't seen the clip where Giuliani farted during a deposition to Congress.
I have seen that clip. Wasn't Eileen Cannon there with him? No, not Eileen.
My God.
Cannon. Sorry, somebody said Eileen Cannon in the chat. Jenna Ellis. Wasn't Jenna Ellis in the room with him at that point? I feel like she was. But I could be mistaking her for one of the other
one of the other Trumpettes.
One of the other best people that he always hires.
I feel like if I was in that position, it would be like taking Gas-X before ever going into any room ever for the rest of my life, just to make sure that the chance of that happening wasn't there.
Yeah. So a prosecutor in the case told the Georgia court that Ellis aided and abetted Trump lawyers when they basically told Georgia state senators that tens of thousands of votes in the state were illegal. While disbarment is the presumptive sanction for respondents' misconduct, it is significant that her criminal culpability was due to her conduct as an accessory, not as a principal. So she would have been disbarred, but because she was only an accessory, not a principal defendant, they're letting her off with a slap on the wrist of, you can't practice in our state for 3 years.
Slap on wrist.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a fairly big slap. It's a firm slap on the wrist, but it is still just a slap on the wrist.
it's also not the state she's primarily practicing in. So
Yes, which is why it's a slap on the wrist. Because if it was the one she was primarily practicing in, then she'd have to could you think of a more friendly state for people like Jenna Ellis than Florida? Because that is where she mostly practices.
Texas.
So anyway, back to the Jenna Ellis thing. So apparently she exhibited remorse. I doubt it. She faked remorse for the sake of getting a lesser sentence. Um, so she did this at considerable personal cost, having received threatening emails, texts, and tweets, also of the obscene variety. How many of those have you caused? Forgive me for not feeling bad for that. And like, yeah, I'm not saying sending threatening emails, text, tweets, or obscene emails, texts, and tweets. That's not justified. Like, no, don't do shit like that. But like, I see how Ruby Freeman was treated, and how Trump is continuing to treat witnesses and jurors even. And like the gag order has a purpose. It's not just people
It's
being
not just
mean
there
to
for
Trump.
giggles.
No, it's not people being mean to Trump. It's people actually like, no, these are people who need protection from this rich and powerful man attacking them, because we've seen what happens when he attacks people. So, yeah, I'm sorry that you experienced just a portion of what your boss caused other people to experience. It sucks for you. But like, maybe he should stop doing it too.
Be a
And
good idea.
yeah, it shows she gratefully accepted suspension of her license under her role, and realizing after the fact that there were a lot of untruths being advanced on behalf of the former president. The evidence surrounding her plea reflects that she aided and abetted the false statements issued through her presence at the Georgia Senate subcommittee meeting, but did not otherwise contribute to the drafting or preparing of false statements. She also expressed remorse and recognition as the harm caused by her misconduct. So she has officially recognized that Trump was like engaging in election fraud, basically.
Good. That's
So
a start.
yeah, um, I feel no sympathy for her. Sucks to be you. Now sleep in the bed that you made. Um, and honestly, it should be worse. But at the same time, this is another thing that's on the record where it's like, yeah, no, I pled guilty to the thing that Trump is also guilty of, that like I was a co-conspirator. So clearly there's something there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have pled guilty. It would have been innocent. So,